Hey guys, we're going to talk about HR-5404 and taking away Congress's ability to ruin our economy. HR-5404 was introduced a few weeks ago in Congress, and the bill really discusses putting the dollar back fixed on gold, something that a lot of congressmen have looked at in the past. But the main highlight, a few highlights of the bill are that he discusses our inflation rate of 2% every year. We lose half of our buying power every 35 years. So for you and I, since we've got off the gold standard, we've lost 96% of our purchasing power, which for the average American obviously is catastrophic. And so this bill puts our money back into the hands of the market and not in the hands of the Fed, where it currently is now. It also fixes our currency, makes saving a lot easier and more proficient, and just makes our money much more valuable. In effect, this bill would eliminate rogue politicians. It would eliminate spending on an outrageous level, which everybody hates about government, and it would put our governments, we would have a mandate that we'd be tied to something that has a limited supply, because there's only enough gold in the world to fit into Olympic-sized swimming pools. So it would be tied to something that's fixed. And so that's something that people could hang their hat on, and I think it would make us the country that we always thought that we were, and it would alleviate a lot of our problems. The reason our currency became the world's reserve currency in 1944 during the Bretton Woods exchange is because we had our currency tied to gold. We didn't have the kind of inflation, we didn't have the kind of debt that we currently have. When you have your currency tied to something fixed, you can't print money the way that we can now. You can't get into $22 trillion in debt if you're tied to gold. And I think that everybody looks at our debt and they forget about how much debt we have out there. We have the largest debt of any country in the world. You would not be able to do that if we were fixed to gold. So I think for most people that have to pay their bills every day, they understand that you can't continue to run this debt, and eventually you're going to have to pay back. And some of these countries we owe a lot of money to, China, India, Brazil, Germany, they're eventually going to want us to pay back those bonds. And so tying us to gold would take the money printing out of the Fed, and it would put it back in the market, and it would alleviate a lot of pressure. So fixing our currency on gold would make it much more difficult for the Fed to print. We would be in a fixed environment, and our currency wouldn't lose so much value on a day-to-day basis.